What's up, nation? Chef Mike's back. Series 2 coming in. I got my friend Tiffany Young here today. She's going to be tasting some of our pesto salmon that we're going to do today. So this series, we're going to do little things that are a little different. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to make a little simpler foods, but still not slack on the flavor for any means. We're going to bring that flavor bold. Right now it's summertime here. There's a lot of stuff growing. I got some fresh basil today. Your garden should be going crazy right now with basil, so I'm going to show you how to utilize it and what to do with it afterwards. So if you make a little too much basil pesto, then we're going to freeze it up. I'm going to show you some cool stuff with it. So first things first, I want to talk to Tiffany a little bit. Tiffany Young, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I've been in real estate for 27 years, lived in the valley my whole life, and yeah, I'm excited to try this salmon today.
Awesome. So a couple things we talked about earlier is Tiffany and fish she's not really a big fan, so we're going to try to turn her into a fan today. So we're going to see, so she's excited. She wants to do this. So anytime you guys want to try some new stuff, you know where to go. So Tiffany, I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'll bring you back here in a little bit.
Sounds good.
All right. All right, guys. So simple basil pesto. First thing I want to tell you about this is probably one of my best recipes from a long time ago that one of my chefs kind of handed down to me. So props up to Chef Rich Knott. He's one of my big influencers in my life. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it simple, and we're going to make it easy, and we'll make it affordable too. So a couple things we're going to put in this today. We got some fresh basil. I got some parsley. We got some Parmesan cheese. We also have some limes, fresh garlic, and instead of pine nuts, I know a lot of people, some stores don't even carry pine nuts, but they are very expensive. I use cashews, just a substitute, just if you're on a budget. We got salt, pepper, just a dash of Tabasco. That kind of brings a lot of the flavors out. That's kind of like we've talked about in my earlier series with the soups and everything that we do. Putting a little bit of either vinegar, a little bit of lime juice, acidity is going to bring all those flavors out and just make them crazy good. We're also going to use a little bit of lemon pepper in some of my seasoning today. The Southwest seasoning is mine, obviously, and this, I told Tiffany today, she's definitely going home with the bottle because she's going to love this recipe. So let's get started. So first thing we're going to do is we got our Ninja here. This is our food processor. I'm going to go ahead and stick some of this basil in here. We're going to use about 2 cups of basil. Okay. And I'm using the live basil today. So kind of wanted you to see they have a couple different options in basil. This one's actually a really good basil because it's fresh. Obviously, I said I did grow some this year. This is a new place. It didn't really grow as big as I wanted it to grow. Maybe next year. So maybe next year I'll be using my fresh basil. Not to say it won't be by the end of the year, but we don't know. It's kind of growing slow. So the fresh basil is cool because you can actually plant this. You see it's got the roots and everything. So you can actually stick this in the ground, plant it, make it grow big. But right now we're just going to use it. It smells so delicious. Another thing about basil is, like I said, when we get done with this, I use the little plastic ice trays, I would say, and they're kind of like a bendable, which is nice. So whenever you make pesto, I'd never simp on it. I usually make a lot, so that way I can use it for other things. It's great on pastas. It's great on chicken. Actually, believe it or not, I used to do a filet mignon crusted with some basil pesto as well. But it has a lot of different things you can do with it. So we're going to go ahead and put that all in there. So it's good to save it, because once you put it in an ice cube, I'm telling you, you just put it in the freezer, and then all of a sudden, whenever you need it, you just pull one of those cubes out. If you're grilling a chicken, you just put that right on top of that chicken and let it melt on there with some cheese. It's amazing. So next we're going to go with some parsley. So I'm just going to put this in here with it. Salt and pepper on this. Pepper, you can put some pepper to your liking. Salt, you want to kind of not put so much salt in it to start with, because I am going to use Parmesan cheese, and this is a shredded Parmesan cheese, so it does have a lot of saltiness to it, so I don't want to use too much to start, and I'm probably not going to salt this until after we get done, so that way I can taste the flavor. So I'm just going to put it, people like cheese, so I'm going to put a little bit more in there. And then I got a lime, so we're going to squish a fresh lime in there, the whole thing. This is going to bring out all those cool flavors. Perfect. And like I said, I got some cashews here. We're gonna go ahead and throw a little bit of that. This is just a mixture. Like I say, you can do whatever you want. These weren't very expensive, I think like $4. So that's just gonna give it a little nutty flavor. Just make sure whoever you're serving doesn't have a peanut allergy. Obviously, I asked that question to Tiffany before just to make sure I'm not gonna get her sick, but a lot of people are sick. They get allergies with peanuts. If you can take that out of the recipe, you can. So don't worry about having to add that in there. You can just take that out. And I'm gonna put a couple dashes of Tabasco. A little bit of black pepper. And then I got about 5 cloves of garlic here. These I'm just gonna smash, take the skins off. We're gonna do these whole in there because obviously it's gonna blend up. Just give it a little smash like that and that skin just pops right off, so it makes it a lot easier. Hope everybody out there is ready for football season. It's coming up and this is a great deal, and actually a meal that you can make for a lot of people. So when you're out there at game time and somebody wants to try some salmon, this is an easy dish that you can feed several people with. The salmon I got today is massive, so you can tell this is gonna feed at least 8 people, if not more. All right, so I got all those garlic. God, it smells so good. Wish you can smell this through these beautiful 4K cameras we got going on here. All right, so last but not least, we're gonna get some fresh olive oil. Got that back here. And I'm gonna use extra virgin, but it's gonna be a light flavor, mild. So there's several different ones. You can use a medium. They have a stronger one. I like the mild one because I want it to bring out a lot of the other flavors and not just be so much oil prone. So we're gonna use this. I'm gonna put a little bit of this in first. And you can add to it, like I said, you want about a half a cup. And sometimes, depending on the consistency of the pesto you want, you can add a little bit more. So go ahead and close the lid here. This is one of those things you're going to want to mix up a little bit, so I usually tend to get a little spoon because you want to get all the stuff off the sides. So far it smells delicious, but I can already tell I need a little bit more oil because you want more of a creamy consistency. So I'm going to put a little bit more oil in this. All right, perfect. We're almost there, a little bit more. And this basically is just taking everything and mixing it all really nice, but I'm gonna bring some of this down too. That's why I say it's very key to just kind of bring all this in. Perfect. All right, that's actually perfect. So now I'm gonna taste for salt because I wanna make sure I got the right salt content in this. And see if I need to add some salt to it or not. Need just a little bit. So like I said, that cheese kind of gives it a lot of salt, so you don't have to worry about it. I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt, and just a little bit more pepper. Perfect. So that should be fine. One more crush here. All right. So now I'm gonna show you kind of what that consistency looks like. You can see that pretty good in the camera. So you want it about that consistency. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna make some rice. That's gonna go with the dish. So if you have any rice around, like a lot of people, just to save some time, they do have those cups of rice you can put in the microwave for a minute, and you add a quick and easy dish. Because you can portion this up, freeze it, and then when you go to work, hey, I got my dish ready to go. I can grab one of those rice and I can stick a piece of salmon on there, throw it in the microwave, and you got a good meal. And it's very healthy for you. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna let this sit for a second. We're gonna come back and I'm gonna make some rice real quick so you can see that. That only takes a couple minutes. So I'll be right back.
Are you looking for a new dish to make? Or maybe you want to try a new approach to your favorite meals? Then we invite you to subscribe to Chef Mike's YouTube channel. With dozens of videos to choose from, there's a dish for everyone. Subscribe today and hit the notification bell for new updates.
All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and preheat our oven. So we're gonna go here to bake. And then we got 350, that's exactly where I want it. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. So we got our preheating going. So I'm gonna let that warm up a little bit while I'm cooking the rice. Then we should be good to go. So once we stick the salmon in, it's gonna be about a 15 to 20 minute cook time, and we're gonna be awesome. Everything's gonna come out delicious. That cheese will melt on top. And don't let people tell you cheese and fish don't go good together, okay? All right, now onto the rice. So I got 1 cup of jasmine rice in here. I'm just gonna stir it around. I just put just a little drizzle of avocado oil in there. So just so it doesn't stick together. And then simple ingredients on this, I'm gonna use a little bit of butter. I just use that at the end. It gives it a nice little taste, and a little bit of Himalayan sea salt. I got 2 cups of water to 1 part rice. So every time I make rice, that's the first thing you do, 2 to 1, super easy. So I'm gonna go ahead and stir this around a little bit. I'm not looking to brown this. All I'm looking to do is cook it just a little bit before it hits brown. Then once it does that, I'm gonna go ahead and add the water in. So give me a few seconds and I'll show you that finishing process here in a second. All right, so you notice we got about 2 to 3 minutes in now. The rice is just starting to turn color on me. That's what I want. I want it to stay just like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and now, I'm gonna go ahead and put my water in. So I got 2 cups of water. Okay. I'll go ahead and add my butter. Get out of there, butter. And then I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt. Just for some flavor. I'm gonna give this just 1 stir. I don't wanna stir this up a lot, just a little quick stir. And then we're gonna go ahead and put the lid on it. I'm gonna let this come up to a boil. Once it starts boiling, I'm gonna turn it right back down to a simmer and just let it slow cook. Once that happens, everything should be perfect and we'll have nice fluffy rice, okay? So we'll be back.
Are you looking for a new dish to make? Or maybe you want to try a new approach to your favorite meals? Then we invite you to subscribe to Chef Mike's YouTube channel. With dozens of videos to choose from, there's a dish for everyone. Subscribe today and hit the notification bell for new updates.
All right, guys, we're back. Now we're gonna prep the salmon to put it into the oven. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some, I like to line my pan. Got a nice sheet pan with a little bit of oil, or not oil, sorry, foil. And then we're gonna use a little bit of extra olive oil. So I'm gonna put some of this on here, just so it doesn't stick to the bottom. Then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna cut up a couple lemons to put on the bottom of this guy too. So I like them nice and thin like that. It's just gonna add a little extra flavor for it. You can never have too many lemons with salmon, trust me. Nice flavor, brings out the freshness of the salmon. Perfect. I'm gonna leave this little guy there for a reason. So what I'm gonna do now is I got some fresh Atlantic salmon. This is from Costco. I like to go over there locally because the flavor wise it's very well, and it doesn't have a real fishy smell to it. And they debone it for you so you don't have to worry about any of that. So what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna flip it over just like that. I want to season the bottom half first. So I'm going to pull my gloves off because I don't want to get the fish all over my gloves, but I'm just going to use a little bit of salt. You want to always season both sides, don't just season the top. I got some lemon pepper. And then I got some of my Chef Mike's Southwest seasoning here. If you don't have my seasoning by now, literally you can just, any Southwest seasoning that you think, even Cajun seasoning goes really well. People love blackening seasoning. This goes perfectly well with that too. So let's go there first, and now we're gonna flip her over and put her right onto this pan here. All right. Some gloves. I always say there's nothing worse than a one-sided seasoned fish, so we don't want that. We're gonna go right onto here. And first thing I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna put down a couple of these lemons. So that way it just cooks nicely on top of them. Flip this over, put that down just like that. Put the lemons in there. Nice thing about this is it's already trimmed really nicely too. They take all the fat off the sides. You don't have to worry about peeling the skin off. So that's all good. So now it's sitting on top of those lemons. So now we're gonna do, sorry I keep switching gloves because I don't like to get my stuff all dirty, so I'm gonna go ahead and season it again. So same three things, some lemon pepper, a little bit of salt. You don't have to go very heavy on the salt because there's a lot of, like I said, in the basil pesto, we got salt in there. And then we're gonna do a little bit of Southwest seasoning. Perfect. So now we're gonna go on top with some of that pesto. And you can put it to your liking. I mean, if you like a lot, but I generally just put just enough to get it all completely covered with it. Like so. Plenty there. All right, so that's good for that. Then we're going to go through with some cheese. So this one I'm going to use an Italian blend. So this is an Italian 6 cheese blend. I'm going to go ahead and put some of this on top. This has that extra flavor that we want on this cheese. There we go, just like that. Perfect. And I'm going to use the rest of these lemons to kind of go across here. And then this little guy right here has got a little seed in there, but I'm just going to kind of give it a little nice little citric on top. That's why I saved it. I got the oven already preheated at 350 degrees. It's already going. So we're going to pop this in there, like I said, about 15 to 20 minutes. It doesn't take long. You don't want to overcook your fish because you don't want it to be dry. So that's what your salmon should look like before it goes in. So we're going to go ahead and stick it in the oven right now, and I'll be right back. All right. We are fresh out the oven. Now it's time to make some plates here. So you see how I got that nice caramelization on top? Once I cooked it and baked it for a little bit, I like to throw broil on, just a little light broil on top. So I put it on high for about 3 minutes, and it'll get a nice crust on there. So we're gonna go ahead and plate this up now. Our rice is all done. Put some rice in here for it. Perfect. So we got our plate here. I'm just gonna go ahead and put the rice on there, just like so. I'm gonna cut a nice piece of the salmon off. Let's go right over here. Oh, that looks beautiful. All right, let me grab a spatula. I got the big spatulas just for this occasion here. Pull that off there. Oops, I dropped a little piece there. Give her a nice little teaser first, but you can see right here, nice light meal for the summertime. So, like I said, I'm gonna bring our guest back in here. Tiffany's excited. She's been smelling this cooking so far, so we're gonna have her come back in. We're gonna give it a try, and then we'll have you guys come back next time. All right, guys, we're back. Tiffany, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'm glad that you reached out. And I'm everybody else that wants to reach out. I did have a lot of people come to me and ask me, what is this really about? Really, for me, I used to be an executive chef. Now I'm in the furniture business. I work for More Furniture, but I do love cooking. So for me, this is joy. This is having new people come. I have never met her before, and this is the first time meeting Tiffany. She's awesome. She's been great. But the main thing is, if you want to come down, try some good food, you want to plug your business, if you have a business out there, hey, come on down. I mean, not only are you going to get fed great food, but you're also going to get to learn how to cook the food. And a little shout out to your company or wherever you work for. Let's talk about that first. Tiffany, who do you work for?
Like I said, I've been doing real estate for 27 years. I work for Silver Creek Realty.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. I love selling houses. I love working with new people and finding them their dream home or their forever home, whatever it might be.
Perfect. Well, that's awesome.
I have a daughter that's getting ready to head off to college, so that's exciting. But
that is amazing.
Bittersweet.
Yeah, I know that feeling. They grow up so fast.
Yes, they do.
I told my son, I mean, I wanted him to go to college. We tried the whole college thing, and he literally wanted to cook. So now he's cooking for Hillcrest. He loves to be a cook, and one day he'll be a great chef, I'm sure.
Following in your shoes. That's awesome.
I hope so.
You should be very proud.
I'm very proud. So enough talk. Let's get into this food. So we got the salmon on there. I'll take a nice little bite of that and tell us how you like it. See if we got the right seasoning on there for you. Oops. Oh, feel free to dig in.
That is delicious.
I'm glad you like it. Yeah, like I said, it's one thing I could tell you about salmon. It is a very oily fish, so it is buttery. It's got a lot of good omega, vitamins for you and everything in it. But the flavors in it that bring out with that pesto and especially cheese. I mean, just a little bit of cheese on there goes a long
And I
way.
would have never thought of putting cheese on fish.
A lot of people don't. A lot of people say no. It's like a voodoo. When I was growing up as a chef, people were always saying, no, don't ever put cheese on fish. But I mean, it goes great on there.
Well, and I told you I'm not a huge fish fan, so I have to tell you though, I would definitely eat this. I love it.
Awesome.
It is very, very good and not too fishy. Like I love the flavor.
Perfect.
Pesto is delicious, and yes, very fresh.
Yeah, and the thing with the pesto, like I was telling you earlier, I have an example right here. I got the pesto that I made, and I put it in nice little cubes here. So this is a nice little silicone thing, very easy to pop them out. So whenever you do, I'm going to send you home with some of this today too, so you can actually take some home to your husband and try it out. But I use it, I take it out, I cube it like this, I'll put it back into like a plastic bag, and then when I'm ready, say I'm grilling some chicken or I want to make some pasta, I could take one of these cubes out, melt it in the pan, throw my pasta in there, my chicken.
Great idea.
You got an amazing quick meal. So for people like us that are always on the go,
Right.
what better to do than say, hey, I got a nice meal for us and it's going to take
quick,
us
easy,
10
and
minutes.
fresh too.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you a lot for coming out, and I'm
Yes,
glad to
thank
see
you. I was
you. It's
glad
nice
to
to
meet
meet you. And like I said, anybody else out there, hit that subscribe button because we're going to come at you with some more stuff. Make sure you tell your friends. Tell your friends, hey, I watched Chef Mike's video. Subscribe. Thanks
Delicious
again, and
food.
we'll see you guys next time. Thank you.